what's something you're hoping to learn, whether it's, week one or just in general as fall camp is now underway?
Uh, I really want to learn. We know the top three receivers. I want to find out who that fourth guy is going to be. It's going to be Jalen Hale. It's going to be Cole Adams. Both of them have played. Both of them, had devastating injuries last year that ended their season. So, who is going to step up and be that fourth guy? Because a lot of attention is going to be on Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard and Isaiah Horton. So, who's going to be that fourth option for Ty Simpson for maybe a check down or a guy that if the other three are covered, that can be a safety blanket for Todd Simpson moving forward. So I'm anxious to see who's going to be that fourth wide receiver to step up and be that guy.
Yeah, and I think a name to watch and a name that really started to make a lot of buzz throughout the summer is Rico Scott, a
Mm-hmm.
guy who, we actually saw against Michigan, a guy who really started to make noise as Alabama was preparing for Michigan. And I think that kind of continued. He's put on some weight since he arrived on campus last year. He has great speed. So Rico Scott's the guy I'm looking at, possibly as that fourth option, but it could be a guy like Jalen Hill. What does Lazier Brooks bring to the
Yeah.
table? Where does he fit into the fold in terms of the wide receiver rotation? So that is absolutely a very interesting thing to follow outside of those top three guys in Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and Zay Horton. Because I'm like you, I think those three guys are pretty much set in stone. You don't want to
Yep.
say set in stone, but for lack of a better term, I think those top three guys are who we all are assuming they're going to be. And that fourth
Right.
spot is going to be really interesting to look at. Uh, I like that too. I'm looking at the offensive line, Jake, because we talk about Caden Proctor is the guy at left tackle. You know what you have in him. You have Parker Brailsford at center. You know
Mm-hmm.
what you have in him. You have Jaden Roberts at right guard. You know what you have in him.
Yeah.
But then you have the spot at left guard and the spot at right tackle. We feel like left guard's either going to be Vandermark or Cam Dewberry, the Texas A&M transfer, and right tackle's most likely going to be Wilkin Formby. And while
Mm-hmm.
I have confidence in all those guys, just kind of seeing what the offensive line looks like and what pieces are going to fit where as fall camp, kind of goes on.
Yeah, I agree, Stacey. You know what you got with the top three guys that you talked about. And who's going to step up in that left guard and right tackle spots to solidify that in fall camp and get ready for week one. It feels like last year we had some up and downs at right tackle. Of course, there's a lot of inexperience there, so a lot of turnover and a lot of guys pushing for playing time. I feel like we need to solidify somebody and just focus on that guy getting his play reps at right tackle. So that's one thing I'm interested in as well.
Yeah, and some of the reports indicated that the first team, at least during the viewing period for the media, the first team offensive line was from left to right: Caden Proctor, Geno Vandermark, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, and Wilkin Formby. So nothing real surprising there. I think the biggest battle is really at left guard because I'm pretty confident that Formby is going to be the right tackle.
Yeah.
Me, the biggest question mark on that offensive line is left guard. Is it going to be Vandermark? Is it going to be Dewberry? And the truth is, I think they're probably 1A, 1B right now, and it wouldn't shock me if that's the case when Alabama rolls into Tallahassee in week one. This could be a battle we see, go into the season simply because, look, maybe one guy practices well one week and the other
That
guy
one
the
does.
next week. And,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really know what you have until the bullets are flying and you're in a live in-game action. So that could be a battle we see, that goes into the actual season. But the offensive line is obviously going to be something we monitor throughout fall camp and a focal point of this team. And I think if this offensive line can prove to be consistent and do a good job this year, this offense can be extremely special with what they have at the skill position, like you mentioned, with what the wide receivers, what we believe Ty Simpson can be at quarterback, and also what Alabama has in the backfield as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Stacey. It's all lining up to be a great year. Just all hinges on the offensive line gelling together and being what they could be. And I really feel like this offensive line can be one of the best we've had in a while, especially with the leadership with Caden Proctor and Brailsforth and Jaden Roberts there.
Yeah. So we've talked about a couple things we're hoping to see on the opposite side of the ball. Is there anything else, whether it's defensively, special teams, that you're kind of anxious to follow along throughout fall camp?
One thing that I saw that Kalen DeBoer made mention was, the punting, the whole special teams punting wise is wide open. So it's going to be interesting to see who steps up. I'm not really sure who we have as punters right now, but we lost our long snapper, the punter, and James Burnett is probably one of the best we've had since J.K. Scott.
Yeah, absolutely.
That really is going to be missed. So getting those guys, whoever it is, gelled and get them, some reps with each other is going to be critical moving forward.
Yeah, that's huge. And I was going to mention the special teams units, and I think they're pretty confident in what they have in a place kicker and Connor Talty.
Right.
I think long snapper is, it's one of those positions you don't think it's important until you have a bad snap.
Yeah.
So it's obviously important for this team to get that right. I feel confident the coaching staff will find that. As far as punter goes, I think it's either going to be I think it's Blake Dowd who transferred in, and then obviously we brought in freshman Alex Asparuhoff from California, who missed the spring because of an injury, but is back and he's practicing right now. So I think that's going to be the battle at punter, and we'll kind of see what happens there. But you mentioned how important it is to have a punter and what a weapon it was to have somebody like James Burnett who could flip the field and just change field position for you. And if you go back, I just thought about this because I saw it the other day on Twitter. I don't know if anybody remembers it or not, but in the college football playoff semifinal game against Michigan, Alabama was half a yard away because of a punt by James Burnett for causing a safety for Michigan because he boomed a punt over the head of a Michigan guy who had to run his tail off to catch up with it and barely caught it in time to get out of the end zone and not have a safety. So having a weapon at punter is huge. And you don't have to be a James Burnett, but you have to be consistent at the punter position. You can't be constantly giving the other team good field position. So what Alabama does as far as the specialists this fall is something to keep up with as well throughout fall camp.
Yeah, clap of thunder. Sorry about that.
But defensively, Jake, to me the thing I'm looking at right now is what some of these younger players, how they fit into I look at Dijon Lee, and my gosh, that dude, he doesn't look real, first of all. I think I tweeted out the other day that I think, we might need to talk more seriously if he's actually an alien or not.
Yeah.
I mean, because he does not look human, man. He is an incredible physical specimen. How does he fit in the cornerback rotation with Zabian Brown, Damani Jackson, Cam Calhoun? What does that look like? I think about a guy like Justin Hill, who's also just a physical freak as at that Wolf position. But so is Quay Russaw. You still have guys like Noah Carter. So I don't know, man. I think just some of those young guys could turn out to be better than what we're even anticipating. So I'm anxious to kind of see how they continue to develop throughout fall camp as well.
Yeah, you're right, Stacey. And one guy we have mentioned previously as well is Jeremiah Beeman, how he shapes up, because I really feel like he's going to see a lot of playing time this year. You saw a little bit what he could do against Michigan last year, but I think he's primed to have a big season this year.
Yeah, he's a potential breakout candidate for sure for this Alabama defense. So